Hey everyone, what's going on? Hope you're doing well out there. Now today I'm going to be taking a look and doing a long-term review of the Logitech G610 keyboard. Now you might be wondering why someone would be doing a review of a 2016 keyboard in 2020. Well, let's take a guess. It's because I actually used the thing for a couple years. This is going to be a long-term review. Now I'll skip to the chase here. The keyboard has been a solid performer and hasn't skipped a beat after being a daily driver of mine for many years. So there's a few different models of the Logitech G610. The one I'm specifically talking about is the Orion Blue, and the blue in Orion Blue stands for the Cherry MX Blue switches that it uses. Now, most nerds are aware that mechanical keyboards use different switch types for different typing styles. There's blue, brown, black, red, etc. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, then I'll drop a link in the description for an explainer video. But yes, the color of your switches makes a pretty significant difference on the keyboard. So if you're not sure what you're buying when it comes to mechanical keyboards, make sure you go out and try them to find out what's best for you. But basically, the blue keys here on this Orion Blue, these are clicky and tactile, which to me is kind of like a typewriter. And the blues are generally my go-to switch. I really like the resistance, feedback, and like obnoxious typing sounds that it makes. It's what I'm after in a mechanical keyboard. Now the G610 here is a full standard size keyboard. Up top you've got your 3 light indicators for num lock, caps lock and scroll lock, and next to those you've got a dedicated game mode key which disables the Windows key. So next to that you've got a brightness switch which scrolls through 5 different modes of brightness, including turning off the illumination completely. Next to that you've got a standard mute button and your play, pause, next media keys. Now the last thing we're going to be looking at here is the scroll wheel, and let me tell you, this has been a complete winner. I don't think I could go back to a keyboard without using a scroll wheel. It's just so handy to be able to reach over and change the volume. Now the wheel itself has a nice sort of low resistance which lets you increase or decrease your audio in a snap. Now look, connectivity wise, this is a wired keyboard, and they're using a fixed braided cable which is about 1.6 meters long. It kind of would have been nice to have a detachable cable, but realistically after using this thing for a couple years hasn't been an issue. So let's take a look underneath the keyboard, and on the G610 here we can see they're using 5 rubber pads to keep a firm grip on the table. These also have your standard flip out feet, and I personally always use the feet on a keyboard. And here on the G610, the general table drag has never been an issue with those rubber pads. This baby stays in place just where you would expect it to. So of course, just like every good keyboard, this keyboard has its own lighting effects. Even though it's only got a fixed white illumination behind it, it still has the different effects that you can control in the Logitech G Hub software. So let's go over to the software and show you the different lighting effects it has. Alrighty, so this is the Logitech G Hub software, and here we've only got the G610 connected. If I had some more devices connected, they would all show up here. You can click into them, change all the effects, synchronize them all, do all that kind of thing. So when you click through to the G610, you've got a few different options here. And we'll start off with the presets, and these affect all your different lighting modes. So currently here we can see the effect is off. Let's just go down the list and take a look at all of them. So fixed, pretty standard. You can change the color of the white lighting. And remember, this is a non-RGB keyboard, so there's only white backlighting here. So this color wave here, this is the one that the keyboard ships with. And you can change the speeds of these if you just slow them down or speed them up. There's a few different parameters for every effect. Sorry there, I'm using a laptop scroll pad and it's kind of a pain. Alright, so the next one here is Starlight. Just has some twinkle toes sort of going on. You can increase the amount of stars. You can change the speed at which they're coming through. That's not too bad as an ambient lighting effect. I've used this one before. Echo press, this one's pretty cool. When you press the keyboard, you can see it sort of goes and comes back. I actually like flipping out the lighting here. So we'll make the default black. And the accent, what's going on? And the echo color white. Oh my gosh, accuracy is horrible here. So now when you type, it starts doing that. You can change how fast they disappear, so if you want it to disappear a bit faster. I've used this once or twice as well, just to mix it up every now and then. And then you got the audio visualizer. I'm not going to hook this up now, but you can synchronize it to Spotify, and the keys will do anything audio visualizer related. I'm sure you've used these before. So next we can take a look at freestyle, And here you can brush the colors of the keyboard. So I'll just make it white. You can just like hover over a section. You can go down to individual key levels, or you can like highlight a section of the keyboard. Who knows, maybe in a certain game you just want to highlight some keys. And you can save all these presets, jump into the software, change it game to game if you're into that sort of thing. Animations here, similar to presets. There's a few different types you can get there. To be honest, this is not my sort of jam. I didn't really play with this too much. I just stuck with those presets and I was good to go. So this first tab is everything sort of lighting related. The next one down here is assignments. And you come here and you can customize some of the keyboard settings. Now, since this keyboard didn't have any dedicated macro keys, I didn't actually come here and change anything on my personal keyboard. But if you have some burning need to come here and remap some keys or do some reassignments, then you can do it all here through the G-Hub software. And here you can customize that game mode, which is that dedicated button up here. I like to leave things as default. So realistically, when I was using the G-Hub software, I'm only coming into LightSync and just playing around. And honestly, I'll be a little bit boring. I'll just come to presets and leave it on the fixed. And then you can come over here and just change the brightness levels. So I'll typically just have it off, on for the day, dim it as it gets a bit darker, back to off. That's 99% of my usage right there. All right, let's throw it back to the video and give you my final thoughts on the G610. All right, so look, Logitech isn't generally seen as the mecca of peripherals, keyboard and mice, but occasionally they can knock one out of the park, and I really think they did it here with the G610. Now, when I picked this up, I was actually in a bit of a pinch. I needed a new mechanical keyboard, and this G610 was on one of the very few sort of keyboards that I could go out there in a shop right then and there and buy, and I kind of had my doubts with it. I just kind of had it in the back of my mind that, you know, this is some Logitech keyboard. I'll probably be picking something up in the next year, but here we are 3 years later, and this thing has seriously never ever skipped a beat. Now, I can generally find faults and gripes with anything, and it's a very, very small gripe here, but my one and only gripe here with the keyboard is that the default light setting it has is that wavy one, it's breathing. That breathing one, I don't know why they would ship it with the breathing. It should just be a static light in my opinion anyway. But yeah, I found that really annoying because if you didn't have the software installed, you just plug the keyboard in and those lights would be breathing. I kind of found myself turning the illumination off just because that breathing sort of pattern was really annoying. Like I said, I wish they had it as a fixed light. Super minor gripe, because once you install the software, you're good to go. You can change it to whatever you want. So look, you know, overall the G610 is still a solid buy in 2020 if it fits your requirements. You know, if you don't mind a wide keyboard with just white backlighting, then the G610 is actually a workhorse of a mechanical keyboard. They're a great unit. You know, it's been out for a couple of years, so surely you can hunt around and find some reasonable prices here. I just had a quick look here, and in Australia, they're still retailing for about 150 bucks AUD, and I have seen them go for about 95 to 115 US dollars. So we'll just pivot here for a second. Talking about new keyboards, I've just set up the Logitech G915, just came in the mail the other day. So give me some time with that and I'll be dropping a review on that channel. And what a segue here to smash that like and subscribe button to stay up to date with everything here, including that future review for the G915. It really helps the channel out. So yeah, that's been my long-term review of the G610. Very, very impressed with it. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video, and we'll catch you on the next one.